Shaggy, I am Philalitea. I am back in the tent, and I'm going to read some more Robert Longshore for you. Because my girlfriend has about 45 minutes that she's going to still be awake with us during the day. And she has requested, as my most dedicated Patreon supporter, she has requested that I read my Patreon work, that I read my literary work, because I'm the only person who intuitively understands Rob's cadence. Because, as it turns out, I might be the only person that Rob actually speaks to in a human cadence. But also, that's my gift as a writer, is cadence. Not all of my dialogue is good, and not all of it is read well. But that is what I notice, is my cadence. And this episode that we're going to get into relies heavily on cadence. And hopefully, any luck, this is the final draft that I remember. This is the most final version of this draft. What the fuck? These JBLs, by the way, are sweet. Very nice headphones. Like them very much. Very pleased with my purchase. Very grateful that Walmart had one left. Those aren't a pair of headphones that they sell frequently, I can tell. They don't sell a lot of the JBLs. They sell more of the Beats. Why didn't my fucking Wi-Fi turn on? What are you doing? That's out. Thank you. Okay. I'm going to be reading from This Is Not Robert Longshore, Part 1, Episode 2, Gilgamesh and Giorgio in One Inconvenient Package. Hey, Tanjiro. 1. This picks up right after Episode 1 with Francis. And eventually you're going to get drafts where Francis's name was changed to Cesco. As in Francesco, the actual Italian version of Frank. Just for right now, I got his name Francis, which is a French version. So, he goes by Cesco in later drafts. Francis was always going to be a placeholder name, because Rob is real bad at remembering people's names for whatever reason. Even when he goes back in time. ACT, it's been a stressful one, but I replaced my headphones and then the old one started working again. So, miracles upon miracles. But that's good. It means I don't have to invest any more money in headphones. We begin. This is a novella. This is 60,000 words. So we're not going to be finishing this chapter, this episode. 60,000 words is a novel. This is novel length. We're not getting that far, but I'm going to read as much of it as possible. It's called This Is Not Robert Longshore, the Memoirs of the Fulcrum of Fate, Book 1, The Lesvos Serpent. This is Part 1, Episode 2. And I haven't given it a good title yet. Maybe you can help me come up with a good title. Episode 1 ended with Francis, or Chesco, as his name is, telling Rob that the city of Genoa wants him to be their king. It opened with a dream that he was Jesus. And not that he was Jesus in present time, but that he was experiencing the lived experience that Jesus the Christ had. And my computer just opened a program that I didn't ask it to. So, big picture. I don't want this. Stop. I don't know how to get out of this. I don't want to be in it. Get me out. What are you doing? Why did that open at all? Stop. I don't remember what I was saying. Sammy, do you think that this is going to be a dialogue between us when I'm telling you that I'm about to read? Are you really so fucking stupid as to think I'm going to interrupt myself for you? Chapter 1. I stare into the darkness. They want me to be their king? My voice is small in the evident vastness of the nothing by which I am engulfed. The sound of my scoff is that of another's defiance, and not just their king, as if they even know what the word means. It would be enough for me to say no if that was all they wanted, a fully modern Christian king, and not because I'd have to convert. This gives me pause. Not because it's untrue, but because working with the church, or in public enough view that the church can easily see me, is a non-starter. If a thought in the dark is at all analogous to a poorly lit avenue in an unfamiliar city, then this one, I know, has nothing down it for me. Nothing good, anyway. But that's the thing, isn't it? Idiots. Damn idiots. Foo. But I say to you that everyone who is angry with his brother shall be guilty before the court, and whoever says to his brother, you good for nothing, shall be guilty before the Supreme Court, and whoever says, you fool, shall be guilty enough to go into that fiery hell. Right. But Jesus would say that, I mutter to myself. They were calling him a fool. On the other side, which is a distinction, one which I can ignore because these are my thoughts, and who's going to know I know better? Prove it in court. The psalm says, the fool has said in his heart, there is no God. They are corrupt. They have committed abominable deeds. There is no one who does good, I remind myself. And Jesus answers, you fools and blind men, which is more important, the gold or the temple which sanctified the gold? Those powers that be who scheme in the dark to make me king of Genova, at least aren't fools, or they don't appear to be. Actually, maybe they want me to be their king, with all the possible emphases. They think they want an ancient king. They think they want La Vecchia Religione, the old religion, the fucking... But why, actually? Francis knows less about La Vecchia Religione and antique kingship than he knows about turning a profit, which is to say next to nothing, maybe less than that. I grind the lozenge of opium in my teeth. Hey, Gina. Why? I ask the emptiness of my office. Why me? Why that? The dark is not going to answer, not any more than it did before. I know that. I do. I don't wait for it to. I know somewhere in the back of my mind that Francis has gotten himself involved, and thus me and Regina, and by extension my wife and Giorgio associated with some very powerful, very dangerous people, the Scaleo Demiurgoi. Of that, I have next to no doubt. Even thinking their name sends a chill down my spine, so I don't. I remind myself in my heart that there is no Scaleo, no school, no secret order, and in my way, I tightly close my eyes and I deny God as hard as I can. If God is that which is right before our eyes, yet we do not wish to behold. The school was destroyed 600 years ago. I whisper like a prayer to ward off ghosts in the night. I was raised by a conspiracy of madmen who believe they also wanted me to what? Rule the world? They were madmen. Maybe it is, and was, always I who am mad. I should leave Genoa. I declare this to the dark, and I know. I should run as far away from here in Christendom and human habitation as I can get. There's an island to the east of China where they say Jesus went to disappear. But no, if they've got to Francis, they'll get to Regina too. If they come for Gina, they'll turn Joe. But I don't actually know that. I can't know that. I don't even know what it means. They'll get them? I scoff inside my mind, and therein I retreat. No longer aware of the dark of my office, I am instead in a brightly lit, marbled-floored, and columned library, lounging on an overstuffed couch. I don't even believe these things I'm thinking. The school, assassins in the night, secret spies making a new world order based out of Genova, Italy? Why do I assume they want any kind of world order? What if they're just making good on their investment in me? Why do I know that's not what's going on, if anything at all is? And besides, I can always run later. It's Calendomaggio. No one makes huge choices on holidays. And really, this spot I'm in is just so comfortable. I close my eyes. I sink into my overstuffed chair. What do I even know about the old ways? Isn't it hubris to think these people actually want me as their king? That Francis could actually drum up a couple? Or a coup? I ask the library. Like I'm prepare to defend myself before court. There was an epic poem the master made me memorize. I trail off, laughing at the thought that he had only done that once. It was about this, right? Aye, the librarian of my thoughts says at my side. Would you like me to recite it for you? I don't open my eyes, just smile. That's what I imagined you for. Surpassing all kings, powerful and tall beyond all others, violent, splendid, a wild bull of a man, unvanquished leader, hero in the front lines, beloved of his soldiers, fortress, they called him, protector of the people, raging flood that destroys all defenses, 2/3 divine and 1/3 human, son of King Lugalbanda, who became a god, and of the goddess Ninsun. He opened the mountain passes, dug wells on the slopes, crossed the vast oceans, sailed to the rising sun, journeyed to the edge of the world in search of eternal life, and once he found Utnapishtim, the man who survived the great flood and was made immortal, he brought back the ancient, forgotten rites, restoring the temples that the flood had destroyed, renewing the statutes and sacraments for the welfare of the people in the sacred land. Who is like Gilgamesh? What other king has inspired such awe? Who else can say, I alone rule, supreme among mankind? The goddess Aruru, mother of creation, had designed his body and made him the strongest of men. Handsome, huge, radiant, perfect. That would fade into chapter end. Chapter 2. What are you doing, nephew? An airy, rasping hiss of a voice asks me. I am looking up at a once mighty brick wall and have been for many moments, with mixed melancholy and memories of more glorious days behind me. The wall still gleams in the sun, but its city is no longer the mighty Uruk of my past. I turn my attention now to the voice. Beside me, but standing at the height of my elbow, is a figure, evidently a man, dressed all in tattered rags, blackened with the decay of millennia. His cowl is low over his face. I smile at him. This, another of my distant uncles, is no man, but Ur-Shanabi, the boatman, the Anku of my people. It is easy to be related to so many godkin when 2/3 of your parentage are gods, and their branch of the family tree is a straight line. I look back to the wall. I am looking at Uruk's mighty wall. You have come here with me from my failure to return with the flower of eternal life. You wished to see the city which they say made great King Gilgamesh a god. Behold, this is the wall of Uruk, which no city on earth can equal. See how its ramparts gleam like copper in the sun. Climb the stone staircase more ancient than the mind can imagine. Approach the temple to Inanna, Eanna, a complex that no king has equaled in size or beauty. Walk on the wall of Uruk, follow its course around the city, inspect its mighty foundations, examine its brickwork, how masterfully it is built. Observe the land it encloses, the palm trees, the gardens, the orchards, the glorious palaces and temples, the shops and marketplaces, the houses, the public squares, all still beautiful and glorious. But now, they call the goddess I denied marriage and who ruined my great city Ishtar now. The son of my great enemy sits atop the throne and lies in the marriage bed made from the hulupu tree which claimed the life of my beloved. But what are you doing, nephew? What is that you hold? What are you doing with it? I begin with a sigh. I have seen everything, have experienced all emotions, from exaltation to despair. I have been granted a vision into the great mystery, the secret places, the primeval days before the flood. I have journeyed to the edge of the world and made my way back, exhausted, but whole. I look at the package in my hand, a copper box marked with my name in the lid, bundled in a cloth of finest wool. I have carved my trials on stone tablets. This story I have recorded. It is not the story of one city's king and his failure to serve them forever in immortality. This is not my story. Not the story of Gilgamesh, though its title carries my name. If it is not the gift of my seed my people want, let this belong to all of human heritage for how they have cursed me. Let this seed grow into a mighty tree, and let the fruit from it feed and nourish the world, the way his love fed and nourished me. One day a different people will come to Uruk. They will climb the stone staircase more ancient than the mind can imagine. They will approach the Eanna temple sacred to Inanna, a temple that no king has equaled in size or beauty. They will walk on the wall of Uruk, follow its course around the city. They will inspect its mighty foundations. They will examine its brickwork, how masterfully it is built. They will observe the land it encloses, the palm trees, the gardens, the orchards, the glorious palaces and temples, the shops and marketplaces, the houses, the public squares, and they will find the cornerstone, and under it, they will find this copper box which is marked with my name. They will unlock it, for they will be wise, and they will master the best defenses of this age with ease. They will take out the tablets of lapis lazuli. They will read how Gilgamesh suffered all and accomplished all. The Anku, Urshanabi, lifts its head. I stand the tablets and the truth of my tale now hidden, for generations to come to mold their own ends, and for long posterity to rediscover and adapt to theirs. Mine no longer, but everyone's, and no one's all the same. Now, I dust my hands on the tattered lion's pelt which skirts my waist, and which is all I have worn since I planted my beloved in the ground. A tear trickles into my beard. It is well, King Gilgamesh, the Anku whispers, pulling back its hood to reveal a naked skull smiling the smile of the dead at me. A smile I have seen too often in this life. Its sockets empty except for two infinitesimal points of blue light. A bluish vapor wafts out of its robes. It is not right for a man to live a whole age and more. I have watched even the gods leave this world they created for themselves, and here you remain. In this garden in which the gods used to frolic like little girls and little boys. You would do well to join your Enkidu and come with me when your natural life is come. It puts a skeletal hand on my shoulder, gripping it comfortingly, and I am comforted. How come it that you love this man, Enkidu, as a brother? Not like a brother, I say. Enkidu was my brother. My mother adopted him as her own. Lady Ki anointed his head. I love him the way a husband loves his wife. How came it thus, Gilgamesh, mighty king and great hero? looking to the setting sun as only the last of its rays remain above the mighty walls of my great and eternal city. I sigh. Enkidu was the wisest man ever born to woman. He was the gentlest lover, the most passionate fighter. His love was a well which never ran dry. His strength was to never hesitate to do what he believed was right. He was the true man, though as a beast he once lived. He earned my adoration and my admiration every day, every single day. He was my right hand. Those fingers curl into a fist. Without him, I am...
Would you tell me the story of this land?
Urshanabi asked, draping his bony hand around my fist, gesturing me toward a tunnel in the wall and a distant light therein.
I know how it came that you found me, and under what circumstances you have brought me from my boat. I have walked with you. Return with me now to my rightful place, and that place where it is natural that you reside the rest of your being. The walk is long, and I know nothing whatever of this great city. Your people, you must see, are not the talkative sort when they meet me. My boat rides are long, and they are lonely. You are a great singer, and a spinner of a terrific yarn. Please, keep me company. For 10,000 years I have waited for you, nephew Gilgamesh. When last I walked this land, it was vastly different. Tell me what I wish to know, great king and valiant hero.
I look to the horizon. Night is settling upon the faraway mountains which nurtured my love. A sight I have not seen without standing atop my walls since before they were built. Enkidu loved our hikes among those sacred peaks. I long to feel the breath of my mother upon my skin one last time. I say, looking to my new friend, the Anku, will our journey take us that way?
You will see your mother again, of that I can assure you.
I nod and lead the way into the tunnel of light. The story of this land is the tale of Enkidu, the wild man. I look at my immortal relative, Death. The Masterd's bearded, impish face with his ibis nose and overgrown caterpillar eyebrows smiles back at me through his belly-button-length white beard. Will you remember it when I am gone, uncle? As I am able. He nods. I nod in return, satisfied. It all started on a night like tonight. Except... Chapter 3. There are no mighty walls. Not yet. And from where I am, I couldn't see them anyway. I have a hand buried in the curls of a young woman. I can't tell how young, as my other hand is arching her back and pinning her hips right where I need them. I do not need more than the meager light in this place for what I want from this girl. In fact, I do not know whether she even is a woman. She's adult enough to be among the priestesses to Inanna who are exclusive in their worship of the goddess, to the king, and everywhere, and everyone is nearly 3 feet shorter than I. I am Gilgamesh, great king and mighty hero. Well, I'm mighty, at any rate, and I am king of Uruk. And this isn't really what, that is to say, whom, I'm supposed to be doing right now. I'm supposed to be humping someone, and my role is God King of Heavenly Uruk. I do know that much, just not her. Oh, for fuck's sake! A woman's voice snaps at my back. The girl or woman or whomever, I don't know, goes instantly rigid, sliding off my hard prick and out of my arms like a cat from a trash heap. I have no idea where she disappears to, leaving me to face the emerald glare at my back. I know who that is, though I do not know the voice. I don't even know where I am. I know I have an awkward erection and nothing to cover it with besides the thin cloth draped around my shoulders and bolted over a mid-thigh-length skirt. So nothing. Robert, this is getting ridiculous. Nodding my own sort of agreement, I turn. Shamhat's is a quiet dignity. Normally, she's dressed in the gossamer skirt and beaded cloak of her station, high priestess to Inanna at Eanna. Her hands are on her hips. Her face is... Let's just say that I've known her for some years now, 7 of them, actually. ever since I and Utu, my best friend, and 50 of Ur's least finest men, convinced her that surrender was preferable to wanton, unnecessary slaughter. I wanted to be a real king, and her people needed one. No one needed to die for that. Never have I seen the emeralds of Peto's eyes like this. Never before has she looked at me with this mixture of hurt and disdain. What? I ask stupidly. Ah! Before I know what's happening, she's crossed the darkened place in which I find myself and seizes a fistful of my beard and one of my mustaches, painfully pulling my lip from my teeth. Never once, likewise, have I wanted to taste the love arts of Lady Shamhat, High Priestess of Inanna. As she stares into my face, emerald eyes subtly darting this way and that as she searches for Ea alone knows what, that remains true. I am not tempted by her. Not to nest my hands in her great wild mane of black curls, braids, beads, and other ornaments of gold and ivory and bone and precious stones. Not with her feminine curves, her narrow waist, her full hips and supple bosom, second only to the goddess herself. The brown of her nipples aren't so much hidden by the beaded cloak as decorated by it, nor by the flat of her tummy beneath her belly button, which signals she has never been with child, nor the black curled triangle of her pubic hair, visible beneath what may as well not be a gossamer skirt. Her her stare is like looking into a green sun. I can't look away. It burns, but I love it. Or I want to love it. Because I don't love her. Yet, I think. I don't even know her. And she does not like me at all. I can see that in how cold the fire of her eyes burns, and the edge to her gaze, the downturn of her full, plump lips and the corners of her mouth. How dare you? She hisses in my face, pulling my head as close to her as I will allow. You will not marry me. You will not lie with me, either as wife or as beloved companion. Yet you will hump my priestesses in darkened corners like a randy goat when you are supposed to be at a wedding ceremony? She tugs my head hard, lower than I would allow. I wince against the very real pain, the feeling like my upper lip and cheek might altogether tear away from my face. I'm really not sure I know what you're talking about, is what I try to say. But she's dragging me out of the room by my face, and I do know what she's talking about. I won't sleep with her. I won't allow myself to be tempted by her, because it is abhorrent to me. Wedding her is wedding her goddess, and that I will not do. As I am being dragged through the halls of the Aeona temple, a man joins our company. He is tall and broad, wearing the plain gray robes of a traveler. His head and face are shaven, and his eyes are painted the blue of his station. High priest, in his case, of the moon and of fire. Utu! I cheer. My best friend, falling into step with us, does not meet my eye. He is looking at Peto. You're back from the frontier. You're back from the frontier, Lady Shemhat. I often forget until I am next to another man, especially one as large as Utu, but... The two priests press together, nearly shoulder to shoulder, to walk through one of the massive doors. I am nearly 8 feet tall. The door easily accommodates me. My father, Lugalbanda, must have been what my enemies will call Nephilim. He's not actually my father, not really. That's just what the priests and priestesses say, to legitimize my rule. Thank Lord Gilgamesh, son of the great Lugalbanda, for your privilege to pleasure Lady Inanna this and every day. Praise Ea! Ea, I sigh. Is this what I thought kingship was? Or is this what I thought kingship was? I ask Utu. For the briefest moment, he flashes the lapis lazuli blue of his eyes to me. I'm being melodramatic, and I'm aware of it, and he isn't laughing. Lady Shemhat, I do think the king can manage to lead himself to the marriage chamber. This is not the first he has been there. You may be her representative on earth, but even Lady Inanna herself does not force us to her worship. With a growl I would not describe as pious, Peto releases my face. Is there a reason I find you this way, Lord King? Do you not wish to attend your sacred duty? Utu asks me. No. Peto holds up a hand to me, keeping me silent with my amusement. I'm busy rubbing my cheek anyway. Why don't you answer his question, High Priestess Utu? Peto spits at my friend's feet. Is that what you told him kingship would be? Utu's face darkens like a storm cloud has entered the room to hover over his head. Utu didn't tell me to take this city, I say, eyeing my friend, and not sure whether I should be concerned that he is keeping his face from me. Mother Puabi suggested it, and this is not what she led me to believe it would be like if I took a city for my own. I laugh. I may as well have stayed in her temple if I knew a bossy woman was going to be running my life. Is that how you feel, Lord King Gilgamesh? Peto asks, not stopping, not looking over her shoulder at me. I don't know, I say. I'm just trying to lighten the mood. You two act like we're going to a funeral. Aren't I just overseeing a wedding or something? Is this all people ever do? Have weddings? Lord, I do not know why you insist on doing this every week. Utu groans like the keeper of a god's tomb. The first 5 days of the week are for working, in your case, terrorizing your people with your unparalleled size, strength, and thirst for beer. The other 2 are about you being seen officiating weddings and mourning at funerals. Peto sniffs. It was and remains the High Priest's only duty to his people, High Priest Utu, to educate his king on his sacred duties. I have other duties which I attend, my lady High Priestess. Then see to them! She shouts, ushering me through a pair of double doors, then slamming them together in his face. If his nose weren't so hawkish, she'd have snipped the tip right off. Blind fools, the both of you, Peto mutters under her breath, walking around behind me. At the center of the room are 3 girls. All 3 of them are naked. 2 of them are as yet unfamiliar to me. One of them I'd last seen vanishing off my prick only moments before. Her eyes meet mine, auburn and glowing with mischief. Then she sees Peto seeing her, and they fall to her feet. The other girls are making busy with something or other. Peto crosses the room and slaps the girl I was mounting, hard, across the cheek. A red handprint stands out bright against her brown skin. If you ever touch the king's prick before a sacred wedding again, I will personally burn your tits off and use the fat to make you a votive candle for the goddess. She grabs one of the girl's full, plump tits, hard enough to bruise. I must have picked her for a reason. The girl makes no sound. Do you hear me, girl? Peto hisses, pinching the girl's nose in a vice grip. Tears stand out in her eyes as she makes the kind of noises with her mouth Peto evidently wishes to hear. Strip! Peto shouts, whirling around at me like she's got a whispering creature living in that nest of hair and stomping a naked foot on the wood floor. I swear to Lord Ea, if I have to prepare you myself, all 4 of you will die. The 2 girls I hadn't humped that day swarmed to my sides, and suddenly, I'm naked. The one I had hits her knees. The last I see of her as the other 2 bring me to the center of the room as her tonsils. Then I'm feeling them. The other 2 girls begin cleaning me, massaging oils and perfumed unguents into my skin and hair. Can we please talk about what is happening right now? I asked, swiveling my head around until I find Peto. She catches my jaw like she was waiting for this, snapping my face forward in strong, mean fingers. Really, Rob? She sighs. Her tone is that of a business person who has all but had it with her partner being unable to carry their weight. This shouldn't be so difficult for you. You should be able to memorize this ritual. I shouldn't have to explain this so often. Not every time. Not after 7 years. She has a jar or a bowl of something. She starts wiping all over my face. 2 of the girls are rubbing it into my skin. The 3rd is making muffled oomph noises. Eyes up, Peto says when I want to watch. She is not for you. This is not for you. This is not a reward for naming yourself king. It could be, if you were my husband, but you refuse me. Whatever she's painting onto my face, she isn't doing it gently. I watch hers through her fingers. She is not happy with me, whatever else our relationship may be. King you may be now, but even your role as king is representative of the roles of the gods. She has seized me by and is now combing and plaiting my beard and mustaches. I can feel the weight of ornaments, no doubt like those in her own hair. I want to close my eyes to let the girl at my waist finish what she started. Peto yanks my mustache. This is not about your enjoyment. This is about duty. This is about maintaining the cycle of the heavens. She gestures to the door opposite from whence I entered. Then she's rubbing a sweet-smelling oil in the hair of my chest, which makes the walls appear to be shimmering like running water. And everyone is just okay with this? I ask, a smile quirking my lips. These girls want me to penetrate them first instead of their husbands? This is the will of the gods. It is not your place to question. It is your place, Gardener King, to sow your seed, that the gardens of your people might blossom into fruit for generations to come. This is how it has always been and how it always will be. We were created to satisfy the whims of the gods. And what of free will? What of the husbands who fear and hate me? Let them fear and hate you. Can any of them best you honestly and claim his right as God-born heir to Inanna's throne and marriage bed? And what of love? I ask, searching Peto's beautiful face with eyes which roll independently of one another around in my head. Is there no room for genuine lovemaking in the god's scheme of things? There is a sucking plop as Peto pulls the girl at my waist to her knees by her hair, from her knees by her hair, shoving the back of her head and sending her out of my field of view. She scoffs. Lovemaking, like you were making with my priestess, great king? It takes me some time, but when I meet her eyes, she avoids my gaze, as though she's too busy with preparations. Do not look to me for counsel on such things as love, great King Gilgamesh. I am a priestess of Inanna, and I am a fallow garden. My husband will not fertilize my furrow, and no other man is allowed between my legs until he does. Suddenly she's behind me. A robe has been thrown around my golden, splendid, glowing nudity. She belts it with my lion pelt, so that my rear is covered, but my prick and tree trunk legs are accentuated by the massive paws. Now she's gripping my priapic member. I don't notice her because I'm watching the walls melt, like a sword, a scepter, and dragging me toward a door. Her hair dances and writhes like snakes. I know that I don't know not to trust her yet, and I think that maybe, just maybe if I do. She approaches me, holding an incomprehensibly beautiful golden mask, completing my transformation into the God King and Bull of Heaven. You will enter that room, she is whispering in my ear, tying it around my head. I'm quivering all over, my legs stamping my feet into sandals as her lips brush my ear. You will enter that girl, and you will relieve yourself of your seed into her furrow and plant her garden, great King Gilgamesh. I almost relieve myself in her hand. Then it's gone, and the door is open. Go, my champion, Peto whispers at my back. I step into darkness, and then there is light, and the goddess Inanna, lying on her marriage bed surrounded by 9 of her attendants, 4 on each side, 2 and 2, heavenly beings glowing and wearing the guise of 4 maidens and 4 mothers, and at her back, supporting her virginal breast, resting the girl goddess's head between her grandmotherly bosom, and smiling encouragingly at me with a mouth full of teeth and a nose too big and crooked, a crone. The Lady Inanna opens herself to me. She glows, her skin, her hair, the golden spot between her legs, shining, shimmering, resplendent. Inanna reaches her arms to me. Come to me, my love. She beckons to the light pouring from her vulva. I step forward. My mind has ceased normal function. I have entered the bridal chamber of a goddess. I am dumb and nearly blinded with stupefaction, but my body knows what to do. Chapter 4. I sit down with a great huff, dropping my feet off the top edge of Aeonna's great ziggurat. What a day, I say, looking out at the night. It's peaceful, that time of day just before night fully settles over the world, but after the best part of sundown. I watch over my people as they settle in like a farmer who can't possibly tuck in all his children, ducking his head in the room to say goodnight. Something is not right, though. This feels like the calm before the greatest storm of my life. Calmer than the night before I marched my best friend Utu and his 50 men to Uruk. There is an ill wind in the air tonight. I am wholly unfamiliar with this feeling. Always have the winds of Enlil, my father, been in my favor. Something is rotten in the city of Uruk. My lord, how did I do Utu's voice? My lord, Gilgamesh. I turn to the sound of my best friend's voice as that of his naked feet approaches. Utu! I'm glad to see you this night. I did not expect to see you again until the morrow. My friend doesn't say anything, just sits himself down beside me. Where I would expect a big smile, perhaps a hug, I get only the shadows of his lapis lazuli painted eyes. I shrug. I suppose he has things on his mind. It's the way things have always been, I tell him. That's what Pato says. Amen, Utu agrees. Then the two of you can agree, I laugh. Utu does not laugh. When it comes to the will of the gods, Lord Gilgamesh, we must. There can be no disagreement among your counselors. The gods always agree? I ask. No, King Gilgamesh. But if their agents speak differently, they do not speak for the gods. Is that so? I ask, trying unsuccessfully to make out my friend's face and the emotions of his heart. Has this place made us so distant? Utu doesn't say anything for a long while. I let him think through what he's thinking. He has a briefing to give tomorrow. He may not have come here to listen to my bitching. He might need his king for himself. If your priests are not of one mind concerning the gods and their will, Lord, then we are useless to you. The cold wind blows. It smells of grave goods uncovered in the wilderness. Then why must I continue to take every virgin blood in my land? Please, make it make sense to me. I've been thinking about it. Well, I was going to start thinking about it when I heard your approach. It is the will of the gods, Lord. But why? I exclaim. Because it is, Robert. Utu looks at me sharply then. His face is an unreadable mask, but his eyes are as piercing and blue as I've ever seen them in the sickle light of his sin. Neither of us says anything for a long time. I'm glad you're safely returned from the frontier, I say. Utu nods. Is there something you wish to speak with me about? No, Lord. I am set to brief you in the consuls tomorrow. Yes? And you are here now. What has happened? Utu, you seem frightened half to death. And he does, too. He fair trembles like a leaf. I am well, Lord. It is chill tonight. In the name of Ea and all the Anunnaki, speak, Utu. Utu sighs, squirming beside me. I have never seen him this way. During my visit to the mountain frontier to the north and east, I saw something which even now I am not sure I met with a trapper, Lord King. I would not even bother. Such a man is... But he told me a story I had to bring to your ears alone. In fact, he asked that I do just that. Then why do you act so torn, my friend? Tell me. It is my duty to share all that this land has to say to its king before the consul, Lord. He looks at the knight. You know my cults are the most secretive. You know that I am a foreigner in this land. I am not beloved as you are. He shrugs. I would not be beloved as you are. I do not wish to appear to be playing games with my king. That is all. Let me be the one who decides who is playing what games, I say. Speak this trapper's ills. He told me of how his traps have been sprung every morning when he goes to check them, as though they were opening themselves. This is interesting, and I must confess that the rest of my tour was as boring as it has ever been. I let him show me his traps. We set them together. I examined his handiwork, and he corrected my errors. In the morning, they were unset and empty. This man is a very real problem, Utu. The consul do not need to hear this story if the man asks for my help directly. My heart is lightened to hear you say it, Lord. I learned as much as I could of the man, his operation, and then I saw it. Or him, Lord. He was huge. Not as large as you, maybe, and not as blessed, strong, and beautiful. But stronger boned, possibly. I roll my eyes. You exaggerate. I saw him, Lord. Huge and covered all over with fur he was. He must be the strongest being in the world, with muscles like a rock. I have seen him outrun the swiftest animals. He lives among them, eats grass with gazelles, and when he is thirsty, he drinks clear water from the watering holes. I didn't approach him. I was too afraid. He filled in the pits we dug. He tore out the traps we set. He frees the animals, and the trapper can catch nothing. His livelihood will be gone, I exclaim. My heart is filling with righteous fury on this man's behalf. I saw him, Lord. He goes about nearly on all fours, and he has the greatest pair of goat horns you've ever seen circling right out of his forehead. You're being poetic, my friend, I laugh. No being goes as a man with the head of a goat. I tell you, Lord, that you are in error when you speak thus. I have seen him. Utu, bravest of my warriors and my closest friend in the world, do you tell me true that a goat-man monster terrorizes my countryside? A beast wise enough to set free his kin from the traps of a trapper, but which cannot wholly be communicated with? I swear this to be the truth, Lord. I regard the shade shrouding my friend Utu. This is excellent news, friend Utu. Do you not realize this? I do not know how that can be possible, Lord, he says to the knight. Do you not see? I will not make my legend sitting atop a throne, nor by impregnating virgins, nor even by defending this city from Aga in the north, as I most certainly must do before my life is over. I will not be remembered as the first to leave his own people to take ownership of another. Not in Ur, where we left, nor in Uruk, where I now rule. The only thing of note I have yet done. It is not enough. I will not make myself a god by staying atop this ziggurat forever. He nods, reluctantly. Is that your ambition, then, Lord? To join the gods in immortality? Or is it to replace them on earth as you have replaced the high priestess to Inanna, Lady Shamhat? I regard him once more, my eyes whipping there. I replaced Peto. Is that what happened? Is that what you think we did? Is the only defense I can think to offer. Utu looks at me then, his eyes as searching as I believe my own to be. But you would be remembered generations beyond your life, as the gods are, would you not? I nod. He looks to Sen, the moon, his mysterious goddess. Is that what you believe the gods are, then? Human lives from the too long distant past. He stands tall, having said this. He wipes off the lap of his gray traveling robes, looks down at me. I've had few enough occasions to think on what the gods are, friend Utu, I say with a smile rising to my full height alongside him, but allowing my head to tilt on my neck like an inquisitive dog's. My friend Utu looks back out into the night. To the north and east, I realize, toward the trapper and his beast man. You think me a fool if you think I believe that. That wild man is a menace. He is a danger to our people, King Gilgamesh. A demon sent to destroy us. You believe that? When Utu regards me again, his eyes are as silver as the light of the moon all through. His voice is familiar to me, as though my beloved from another life were speaking through his throat. Beloved brother, I have had terrifying dreams. I dreamed that we had offended the gods. They met in council, and Anu said, They have slaughtered our chosen bull of heaven and killed the guardian of our sacred cedar forest, our child Huwawa, and cut down our holy trees to fashion their temple. Therefore must one of them die to even their debt to us. Dear friend, dear brother, they are taking me from you. I will not return. I will sit with the dead in Inanna's underworld, and never again will I see my dear brother again. Tears leak from my eyes at the sorrow and terror in his voice. I dreamed next, dear brother, that the heavens thundered. The earth replied, and I was standing on a shadowy plain. A creature appeared with a lion's head. His face was ghastly. He had a lion's paws, an eagle's talons and wings. He flew at me. He seized me by the hair. I tried to struggle, but with one blow he capsized me like a raft. He leaped upon me. Like a bull, he trampled my bones. Gilgamesh, save me, I cried, but you did not save me. You were afraid, and you didn't come. The creature touched me, and suddenly feathers covered my arms. He bound them behind my back and forced me down to the underworld, the house of darkness, the home of the dead, where all who enter never return to the sweet earth. Utu's eyes clear and are his again. He turns his back to me and is silent a long moment. Lord, he says, I do not understand what the gods have shown me. They show the greatness of the deeds we will accomplish. Be that as it may, this Ea Bani wild man spells the end of your reign. A man-beast all but my own size. I muse into my hand, the other supporting that elbow when Utu returns to me. Maybe he is God-born like me. Peto said, If all kings have the blood of the gods, that is not an if, Lord. Utu says, rubbing his eyes. We are all the gods' children, some of us more than others. You more than anyone else living. This man-beast, the villagers say that he is the progeny of Keen, some poor, cursed man. What do you suggest I do? Do I help the trapper myself? The man-beast is a threat to your kingship, Lord. You should destroy him. Utu, you are not making any sense, I laugh. He is freeing animals from traps, not harming my people. How is he a threat to me and my kingship? He will challenge you soon enough. This is the natural way of things. Let him, I say with a boastful shrug. Do I not challenge my people to rest with me every day? It is the sacred right of all in my country to challenge my rule. This is how it remains righteous. Do you agree? I do not disagree, great King Gilgamesh, but he is not of this country. He is a foreigner and a demon. You should destroy him. Hearing this a third time shocks and upsets me, but I have heard his counsel. This is the counsel you would give your king, I ask. It is, Lord. Good. Then we can agree that it is heeded. I stand, dusting off my naked legs. Rise, friend. It is good that you brought this to me tonight and did not wait until your briefing with the council on the morrow. Sire? He asks, not moving, not turning back to me. How weary are you from the road, friend Utu? He regards me warily. I am never too weary for an order from my king. That is good to hear, because you will need all your testicular fortitude for what I have planned. There will be time for baths and scented oils and combs for your hair yet. Your favorite priestess's bed will have to wait, my friend. We are young men still. Let us adventure like them. But for now, leave me. Speak to my quartermaster about supplies for the journey. We will leave for your haunted village in the morning, but you will be leaving tonight. Utu's countenance is as stony and stoic and sibylline as those statues of his sin. Yes, Lord King, he says with a bow, turning to leave. Oh, and send for the High Priestess Shamhat. She will want to be party to this. The Lady Shamhat, Lord. Utu stops, turning to look at me with a face darkened with suspicion and incredulity. What good will a witch whose only duty is to pleasure the king for the goddess be in hunting a fearsome wild man terrorizing your frontier? Lord Gilgamesh. Instead of questioning my commands like an insubordinate second in command, I say with a wink, ask yourself this, what is a wild man? And before you leave, Utu stops, having taken several begrudging steps toward Peto's chambers. When you have convinced her to make herself available for our adventure, you are to leave Peto and go immediately for Mother Puabi. His silence is vacuous. You will personally bring her to the trapper's village. Do you understand me? I do not, Lord Gilgamesh, he admits, Lady Puabi, for something like this. It is not for you to understand, Utu. Forgive me, my friend. I understand that you are high priest of both Utu, the sun in the sky, and Sin, the moon, but a son knows when he needs a mother's counsel. I have approached him, and Utu turns to me. He flinches when I reach out and put a hand to his beardless cheek. He averts his blue painted eyes from my gaze. I smile, unoffended. He has never loved the affection of men. I have had a dream, my friend, I admit, releasing him. I saw a bright star. It shot across the morning sky. It fell at my feet and lay before me like a huge boulder. I tried to lift it, but it was too heavy. I tried to move it, but it would not budge. A crowd of people gathered around me. The people of Uruk pressed in to see it. Like a little baby, they kissed its feet. This boulder, this star that had fallen to earth, I took it in my arms. I embraced and caressed it the way a man caresses his wife. Then I took it and I laid it before my mother. She told me that it was my double, my second self. Do not attempt an interpretation, my friend Utu, though I know it is well within your power. Go, do as I have instructed, and find me with Mother Puabi on my frontier. Then you will have served me as a high priest should serve his king. Utu bows, and he is gone. I turn back to the night with a smile, regally putting my friend out of my field of vision and my evident thoughts. My life will change forever soon. I know that, but not from what I expect. Chapter 4. Peto rides beside me at the head of a royal procession. Maybe, I think, the first such in history. There are 5 of us in the lead, including Peto's trio of priestess attendants. We are mounted, I realize, upon what appear to my eye to be donkeys the size of ponies, hugely muscular and at least 13 hands tall. The one beneath me a hand or even 3 taller than those flanking him. These are not show ponies. or whatever the equine equivalent would be in a donkey-ass hybrid. These are kunga, war animals, and I can feel mine, at least, jonesing for a fight. I seize his mane a little, patting him on the shoulder, beneath the colorful blanket tossed over his back. He roars a donkey war cry, braying a hee-haw with every few steps, proudly tossing his head and mane in the air. The bastard is proud to be carrying his king, I think to myself, beaming with as much pride as I can remember ever feeling. And God's damn it if he's not going to do that the whole way there. I sigh. Then I'm reminded of Peto, and while we're riding all this way, I look over at her. Her costume is unchanged, even for the road. She must have heard Mother Puabi will be meeting us. My eyes drift to her attendants. I don't miss that I don't recognize this trio. My king? She asks, her tone impertinent. I look back to her and find an accusation in her face. Do not permit yourself to gaze longingly upon me if you will not permit me to love you, as I have heard from her lips many times. And never once, not ever, have I been gazing longingly. Not at her attendants either. I roll my eyes. It may be of no importance to His Highness, but arrangements will need to be made on the morrow to perform the sacred wedding. It has been 6 days. Haven't you packed a virgin bride-to-be? I asked, looking at our train. The 50 men needed to carry her luggage. The question really isn't unreasonable. How hard would it have been to bring one more girl? Like she would be any more missed than these 50 sons of single mothers, I think to myself, returning my gaze forward. No one will miss any one of them if they don't come back. Which is absurd to think. They're all coming back this time. That may not be true in the future, but they didn't even need to come in the first place. That was Peto's doing, apparently. Whatever. I'm not staying. Not once we found the trapper. Wild man. I scoff in my mind. I look back to the northeastern horizon, unable yet to see our destination, but believing it will be visible soon enough. Hardly, Robert, Peto spits. Her flower couldn't remain unplucked around you this long. I shrug. The trapper has been going on for some time now. We're standing outside his home. The whole village is gathered on our periphery to gape. I get it. Uruk's great king and Inanna's high priestess, the representatives of the king and queen of heaven on earth, don't exactly show up at your door every day around here. To say nothing of High Priest Utu and Goddess Queen Puabi, which I may as well. I can't be sure he knows who they are, or cares. His king is here. I clear my throat. I'm getting impatient, and I'm not good at hiding it. The trapper gurgles to a choked silence like someone cut his. Mother Puabi glares at me. Utu makes a pained face. Peto punches me in the chest. Forgive me, I say, imagining what Peto might say. I've heard this story, and an only slightly truncated version at that. I shoot Utu the glare I want to give the trapper. He has the decency to look embarrassed. I'm not here to listen to you speak, trapper. I am here to trap a man-beast and destroy it if I must. If it can, indeed, not be reasoned with, before it can destroy you. What do you think of that? Don't answer that. Thank you. I use the hand I've raised to keep him silent, to finger my brow. Before we can do that, all of you must be dying to know why I've gathered you all here today. Only the farmer appears to have heard me. The warriors are paying exactly no attention to the goings-on. They heard the words trap and man-beast, and know that if they have a role at all, it won't be until much later, and that anything I have to say here is for Shamhat and the trapper, and maybe his wife. She, I am sure, can't love the thought of feeding all 57 of us, or whatever our entourage is up to at this point. Actually, she's probably half frightened to death that I will eat her out of house and home myself, alone. Utu, Mother Puabi, and Peto are in various states of impatient. I twist my lips. Utu, what is a man beast? Have you thought of the question? I have, Lord, and, well, he's a man that has parts of, or looks or acts like a man, isn't he? Or is he more beast than man? Is he or isn't he? That is the question we must ask. I say with the inward-looking smile of the poet, whether 'tis nobler to trap and ask, or kill him outright. We shall learn soon enough. Trapper, do you know where the man-beast's lair is? Well, either you do or you don't, man. Don't forget how to speak now. I chide him like he's a child, even though he's at least double my years. You said you have tracked the man-beast. Have you tracked him, or have you not? I have not, great King Gilgamesh. I was too frightened of him. But there is a cave I know of. A bear is meant to live there, but I believe that this is where he takes his lair. A bear, a man-beast. Caves in the woods are where monsters are found, and heroes' legends are born. Whether that is the place or not, that is where you will start. Take Shemot there in the morning. What? She shrieks. This gives me a nice laugh. I take it with me from the throng. I am the king, and this is settled. Now you just hold on a goddamn second, Peto says, catching my lion pelt skirt and doing nothing whatever to slow my roll. I can hear Mother Puabi organizing the men. I will drag you, I laugh. Ah! She runs around in front of me. Where do you think you're going? I keep walking. She acts like she considers digging in her heels, then thinks wisely better of it and falls in step with me. Home, I answer. I have a kingdom to rule, and I am done here. Oh, no, you're not. Yes, I am. I climb atop my kunga, taking the reins of another to lead it. Peto doesn't know what to do when I turn it back to the trapper's house. Our entourage are dispersing. I stop where they cannot hear us. I will tell you the plan. Then you will tell them. This will maintain the dignity of your elevated position. I say, watching Mother Puabi make nice with the trapper's wife. I thought you were going to trap him. I look down at Peto. Her hair seems to be standing straight out on end like an upset cat's tail. I can't help but laugh at myself. She really has never been anywhere her entire life but atop on a ziggurat, has she? I am going to trap him, and you aren't going to argue with me. We must appear united in front of these people. They do not know us. They are not desensitized to the politics of priests. Robert. Her eyes dart to the villagers, then return to me. If you leave now, you will not perform the sacred wedding. I am confident that Inanna can save herself for 1 week. Peto sighs like I understand nothing, and I've just doomed us all. What am I to tell them? She asked with a reluctant burst from her nose, returning her attention to her people, her actual responsibility, if you asked me. She didn't, but I'm going to let her know anyway. Good girl. You are my trap, I say. If your loins so badly long to be filled by your king, let them be filled for him. The trapper will take you first to the Aonabani's lair, but do not approach. Even if you do not see him, especially if you do, let him see you. Have the trapper direct you to a watering hole. There, strip yourself naked and you're sick. We will see about that. Ply your love arts on him until he is satisfied with you. Then we will see just how much a beast he is. Now, go. I gesture to Utu. He approaches, his warning on my mind. I watch Peto's back as she leaves. My king? Utu asks. Stay here for 7 days and 7 nights. On the 8th day, if Shamhat does not return, either with the wild man or with news that he will leave the trapper's livelihood be. I pause dramatically, meeting his eye the best I am able. Kill everything in this land larger than a house cat. My lord. Utu's eyes are wide, disbelieving. You didn't understand me. You didn't misunderstand me. Everything. My king. A flurry of emotions wash across his face, and his head shakes them free. It will be as you say. Good. If either you or the trapper are lying to me, I will soon know. And if the woman attempts treachery... Mother Puabi is approaching now. I shoo Utu with my eyes. She does not need to make the return trip. Shall we? Mother Puabi asks me, taking the reins of her kungo and climbing atop it. I nod at Utu as looked at me over his shoulder. Then I watch Peto talking to the trapper and his wife. We shall. Chapter 5. I enter Mother Puabi's tent. I did not know before she led us to them that she had an entourage of her own, nor that they had set up camp before she and Utu joined with me, Peto, and ours. It is many times more than 50 men. She always has to show me up. My mother is a powerful woman in her own right, a goddess queen, of holy Ur, no less, sacredest city in all the world. For now. And never once has she let me forget it. Not once. Never. She lounges on a long couch piled high with pillows, her legs unspooled beneath her in colorful silks, which shimmer like the scales of a dragon in the dancing torchlight. Her eyes, green and glowing and overbig in her face, are a shade lighter than Peto's. Jade, but they are just as, maybe even more, piercing. There's no fire in them. They're as cold as the gemstones decorating the Deep Mother's throne. Mother Puabi smiles at me the way she did when I was a boy, opening her arms as if inviting me to sit on her couch within her embrace, like I would when I was a boy. That is impossible now. I approach, kneeling before her instead. I understand you wish your mother to hear a dream you had, she asks, combing her fingers through my hair, not lovingly, not affectionate, like she's stroking her favorite warhound. I saw a bright star, I say. It shot across the morning sky. It fell at my feet and lay before me like a huge boulder. I tried to lift it, but it was too heavy. I tried to move it, but it would not budge. A crowd of people gathered around me. The people of Uruk pressed in to see it. Like a little baby, they kissed its feet. The boulder, this star that had fallen to earth. I took it in my arms. I embraced and caressed it the way a man caresses his wife. Then I took it and laid it before you. You told me that it was my double, my second self. What does this mean? Mother Puabi is silent a long moment, petting my hair. Dearest child, this bright star from heaven, this huge boulder that you could not lift. It stands for a dear friend, a mighty hero. You will take him in your arms, embrace and caress him the way a man caresses his wife. He will be your double, your second self, a man who is loyal, who will stand at your side through the greatest dangers. Soon you will meet him, the companion of your heart. Your dream has said so. My heart and my gaze are lifted from the floor at this news. May the dream come true, I rejoice. Let the true friend appear, the true companion, who through every danger will stand at my side. What of Utu? She asks me. I do not know what of Utu, I admit. He counseled me that this Eabani, wild man, would be my undoing. You're telling me that he will be my greatest ally. What does it mean that they contradict? Do you trust in him? She asks. With all my soul. He has always been faithful to me. He will always be. Chapter 6. I'm walking through the halls of the temple to Inanna at Eanna with Utu. I'm late for another wedding. Peto and he returned yesterday, and he's not happy with me right now. I haven't seen Peto. This is the first I'm seeing Utu, and I'm dying to ask him a question. I've been thinking about it all week. Is the wedding really necessary? Rob. I know, but hear me out. The people... How did I do his voice? The people need to know that you are maintaining the world, Gilgamesh. I know, but no. You clearly don't know, but. You are not a man. You are a king. You are a symbol. Nothing more. You are meant to be seen, heard, felt. You are not meant to ask questions, and you are most certainly not meant to make changes. If you would just do as you are meant. But that's the thing, isn't it? I haven't wrestled anyone all week. I haven't had any beer. I haven't... And that ends today. Your little sabbatical. I hope you got it out of your system while we were away dealing with your Eabani problem. We stopped before the double doors leading to the sacred groom's dressing room. These things are not, for you, optional. They are your sacred duty. You were born, you exist for one thing, one purpose. To be the God King of Uruk. Anything less and the heavens will fall from the sky. Do you understand me? I don't believe that's true. No cracks have shown in the sky this week. I don't care what you believe. The gods made us all in their image, but mortal, and in their image, and mortal, we are made. I am a god. You are 2/3 god. Until you are immortal, or until you leave this world without death's aid, you are just a man. And until you are married to Shamhat, you are less than that. And men live to please the gods, I ask, twisting my mouth with disappointment and resentful acquiescence. You're learning. Good. Is a king's duty not to the greater good of his people? Robert! Utu sighs, looking up at me with his hawk's nose and his unpainted sky-blue eyes. Sin remembers the passage of all time. What do you, an unmarried man, know of the greater good? What do you know of children? What do you know of death? What do you know of incomprehensible aeons? A king's duty is to thank the gods, and to his wife. Mortals must not make decisions for mortals. They must not mistake the will of the gods for happenstance. and you must not think that you can shape destiny. And the wedding? Robert, things are how they are for a reason. You are lucky no one has meaningfully challenged your authority as king. Now, go. I do. 7 days, I say, grinning, when Peto and her attendants enter my dressing room. I don't recognize this trio either. That's how long you used your love arts on him. That's what I hear anyway. She regards me coolly. His appetite is prodigious, my king. Indeed! 7 days and 6 nights is an awful long time, my priestess. Are you not sore? Are you jealous? She approaches me with her gold paint bowl, scorn in her eyes. I laugh. You're here with me, aren't you? Indeed I am, my king, she says. And for once I wonder whether this isn't where she'd rather not be. I wanted to talk to you about that. My being here? She rubs the unguent into my chest hair. The walls melt. Your time with the Ayabani. She ties the bowl of heaven mask to my head, and the illusion is complete. Another time is all she says. She dismisses her attendants and turns to leave. I look to her. Peto. She looks back to me, but says nothing. There's an unmistakable something in her emerald eyes. Is it right that we do this? It binds us together, Robert. Shared trauma is love. Then she is gone, and I open the doors to the marriage chamber of my people's goddess. I look down at the girl, goddess, and her 9 heavenly attendants as they glow on the marriage bed, as they look at my prick. The crone isn't smiling her toothy, hungry smile. Something is wrong. At that very moment, the opposite side of the room explodes. I and the occupants of the marriage bed are showered in a flecked spittle of splinters and ruined jam. I am, at first, dismayed. The goddess, Lady Inanna, is not a goddess. She is just a girl child, maybe 13. I am horrified by what I was about to do, even as the naked, ordinary women are screaming and as frantic as mice to get away from the suddenly exploded side of the room. The intruder, however, is no cat, and he isn't here for the women. Hulking in the hole which was once a majestic pair of double doors is a beast with a great, muscular man's body and great hairy goat legs and feet, and atop his goat head the largest pair of goat horns I have ever seen. At over 7 feet tall, adjusting for how hunched his back is. His back does not fit easily through the women's portal. He is not so tall as me, but stronger boned, I acknowledge eagerly. Every inch of his exposed flesh, which is all of it, I realize, is covered in thick black hair, including the woolen locks of his head and his goatish beard. And all about him cling leaves and the detritus of the forest. The stink of him, of sweat and of decay, enter the marriage chamber next. A smile creases my golden, splendid face. Here I am, panted up like the bull of heaven on parade, and an actual demon has come to challenge me in mine own city. In the temple to Inanna, the temple of Inanna to Inanna, no less. And I haven't had a good fight in ever, but a fight no less in a week. The floor trembles with my excitement. Splinters dance on the floor, and dust clouds the air around me. The goat man, a giant in his own right, bellows a roar fitting the wildest creations of Enki's twisted mind. He shoves himself fully through the wrecked jam, pointing a meaty, hairy warrior's finger at me, and roars, "Rape King! Tyrant!" The hair is blown back from my shoulders by his rage. He rushes me. I step into his charge. There is a visible shockwave as our hands clasp the other's shoulders, and our foreheads collide like great rams. His momentum is stopped. The bricks are gravel beneath my sandaled feet. Their straps explode. "Who are you?" I grunt against his mighty strength. feet, struggling to find purchase. I thrust against him, shoving him back through the splintered door, but mostly through the frame. When suddenly he releases his hold on my shoulders and dips his weight. Suddenly pushing nothing, I overbalance. The Enkidu catches me by the belt and in the pit of my arm as I tip over him. I have just enough time to think that no one has ever not been immediately overwhelmed by me, and then I am hoisted in the air. Through the timbers of the door jamb in the ceiling, I burst into the cool air of early evening. I am Enkidu! The man roars. I am the mightiest! I am the one who can make the world tremble! I am supreme! And then I'm flying. By some miracle, I land on my feet outside the temple, having taken a me-sized furrow of the roof, and more than a few columns with me. Skidding toward the edge of the top level of Uruk's great ziggurat in a not comfortable fall, in a shower of wood and stone and gemstones and baked earth, I go to one knee, digging my hands and toes into the brick to slow myself. Enkidu emerges from the dust, a demon thing, terrible and awesome. More monster than man with his shaggy fur, his horned goat visage, and his damned cloven toes. Glistening with sweat, his body naked. His rippling muscles tremble as he approaches for the kill. I raise myself up, a golden god, and I applaud. You have done well, man-beast. To your health, my friend. I raise a fisted arm to the sky and salute. None hath ever unsandaled me ere your challenge, man-beast. Name your reward. He grunts, steam and spittle and mucus streaming from his nostrils. He stamps a cloven foot. In response, I shake each of my limbs in turn of dust and rust, reach up and fan out my golden mane. Take a good look at me, you Enkidu. I slew this lion with my bare hands, I tell him, placing those hands at my waist and thrusting the lion's dead face at my groin at him. Let him see me with my feet flat and my heels overhanging defeat and death, unafraid of him, of the end. Tell me, foreigner, wild man, man-beast, for what hast thou come to mine kingdom? For what dost thou challenge the two-thirds god Gilgamesh? He roars and charges me. I meet him stride for stride. We leap. Our foreheads collide. Our hands find the other's throat. The ground at our feet and for some radius is pulverized. Flecks of stone fill the air around us. Then we land. The entire ziggurat groans. Much of the brick under my feet crumbles and falls away to empty air. Enkidu retreats under my weight outside the circumference of our destruction. The bricks are only cracked and broken here. What do you want, man? I shout through gritted teeth. You have already proven yourself superior to any other man in my country. I want nothing from you! Enkidu rages in my face. His breath smells of frankincense and mint. Rape King! He catches me behind my elbows and begins to swing around like a dervish. My legs are lifted out from under me, and then I'm flying. Another path is dug through Inanna's temple as my body sails through it. I land in a cloud of smoke and embers, luckily free of the overturned brazier, the contents of which are now devouring the expensive silks, no longer lazily hanging from handsome windows. I notice, but I'm aware of none of it. Once I have located him, I have eyes and mind only for Enkidu. There may be women screaming. It could also be the keening of the tearing stone as Ea's ziggurat crumbles, tearing apart like a wedge-struck mountain, or the song playing in my own head of the dark realization which has dawned upon my mind. This Eabani son of a goat means to kill me and take my city. What I took in peace, what I cultivated with love, will be taken from me by violence. Nothing could be more abhorrent to me. I rise like the day out of the gloom of night with the bellow of the mightiest bull, my head thrown back, arms and fists at my breast. The air is lifted around me in a current which clears the smoke and kills the fires. The Enkidu emerges once more as demonic and nightmarish as any spawn of that trickster Enki. You have come to see me destroyed utterly, then, I say, breathing heavily, my expensive clothing in tatters. What feels like blood trickling from dozens of nicks and cuts along the length of my exposed flesh. I step toward him, a hulking beast myself behind my bull of heaven mask and beneath all the ruined gold paint. You will find that impossible. I seek not your destruction, tyrant. I seek to end your tyrannical ways. As I understand it, it is the custom in this land that all challenges to the king must be met in single combat. I will defeat you manfully this day, in front of all of your people, atop your holiest place. And then your gods will tremble to hear the cries of your people. He leaps at me, leading with his great hairy fist. I bat it away, but the other comes. My attention is taken up with absorbing, deflecting, or evading his punches for the next several moments. Punches which he peppers with accusations. The city is his possession, they cry. He struts through it, arrogant, his head raised high, trampling its citizens like a wild bull. He is king. He does whatever he wants. Takes his son from his father and crushes him, takes the girl from her mother and uses her, the warrior's daughter, the young man's bride. He uses her. No one dares to oppose him. Your people cry to the heavens and your gods hear them. Gilgamesh, mighty ripe king! He draws back, throwing a thunderous overhand right. I absorb it against my forearms. I am thrown backward, my feet dragging, toes digging into the baked clay bricks. The ziggurat howls, splitting into two great pieces. Your gods have sent me to rectify your evil. The demon beast roars, leaping across the growing rift in the temple between us. He lands. I meet him with a barrage of punches of my own. He deflects them, roaring, taunting accusations. The gods are not unfeeling. Their hearts were touched, Rape King. They went to Anu, father of them all, protector of the realm of sacred Uruk, and spoke to him on the people's behalf. Heavenly Father, they cried for their people, for your people, Rape King Gilgamesh. Gilgamesh, noble as he is, splendid as he is, has exceeded all bounds. The people suffer from his tyranny. The people cry out that he takes the son from his father and crushes him, takes the girl from her mother and uses her, the warrior's daughter, the young man's bride. He uses her. No one dares to oppose him. Is this how you want your king to rule, people of Uruk? Enkidu roars to the sky, to the gathering throng at the foot of my crumbled temple. Should a shepherd savage his own flock? Father, cried out the gods for you. The people of Uruk, do something quickly before the people overwhelm heaven with their heart-rending cries. I am that retribution, crafted by the hands of your very own gods. Enkidu exposes himself to two of my punches in succession, then strikes me with his open palm directly in the center of my chest. I am flung from my feet. I slam against a columnar pillar. I do not! I cry, protecting myself from the ceiling caving in around me. Enkidu leaps atop me. The dust clears around us, and I see him, a lowing goat, straddling my waist, hairy body thick and rippling with muscles, sweat dripping everywhere and clinging stone and wood shards and dust to his beautiful body. He gleams like a black sun. I have only just enough time to realize that his arms are clasped over his head, not in a pose of triumph. He does not mean to pin me as I might a challenger, but to bash in my skull with one great hammer smash of his meaty hands, to be able to defend myself before he does just that. The floor beneath us is suddenly sand, and we're sinking. I can hear and feel the tremors as more of the columns topple over and more of the roof caves in around us. But I'm concerned with the flurry of blows raining against my head and neck and shoulders and chest and ribs and waist and forearms, each of them digging us deeper and deeper into a ziggurat that already gasps like the dying of a mountain. And all I can think are 5 simple words. Why don't my people love me? The Enkidu rises back from me, lifting his arms for another 2-hand smash. I don't wait this time. With all of my not inconsiderable might, I grab Enkidu's beard and yank myself into a sit-up. I let fly one punch, a straight right, directly between the goat man's eyes. He staggers. I hit him with another just for good measure. He slumps. If not that I were holding his beard, he would fall. His body sags. His head falls off in my hands. 7. I am tending the sacred garden of Inanna at the heart of mighty Uruk. The king in this land does his hair up like a woman and waters flowers like a girl? I turn to the sound of the strange man's voice. Deep and manly and strangely accented. The sacred bucket, Bandudu, the people to come will call it, lies forgotten on a bench nearby. Before me, under the noonday sun and the hanging canopies of plants, is the most beautiful creature I have ever seen. Nearly as tall as I, and stronger boned. His bulky muscles and dense black body hair are only made more masculine and mannish by the fine silk robes he wears, the oils in his hair and beard, and the rich jewelry decorating his arms and neck. Without any thought whatever, I reach atop my head and free my curls. They cascade about my bare shoulders. I am naked except for my lion-skin shirt. Even in the shade, this place with all its greenery and its great towering tree is hot and humid. Sweat clings to the curls of my chest hair. He stops, the Enkidu, no beast man, but a glorious icon of masculine glory. Our eyes meet. His are as gray as the clouds which promise rain. He clears his throat. I have come to throw myself upon your mercy, great King Gilgamesh, he says, bowing low his head to the ground. The Lady Shamhat has made me aware of the error of my ways. My what? I ask, laughing. This is absurd. Lord King, he lifts his head, looking at me with confused eyes. Please, just Gilgamesh, I insist, placing my hands on his shoulders to lift him aright. They are as firm and as supple as they look, as I remember. I must at least apologize, Lord. His gaze dances from mine to the bench with the sacred bucket. Sit with me. We sit. I look into his eyes. If I see approval there, surely it is because I wish to. I was a rape king, I acknowledge, looking between my knees. My people, those girls, we are so far removed from our ancestors, from the necessity which drove them to create the first kings, to institute this terrible marriage. They cannot understand, my people, not really. Their husbands are cheated of their wives' first love. This should be a sacred thing, no? I ask, searching his beautiful face. A person's first love. To them, I am a tyrant, and it is not right. Come what may, the tradition is ending in Uruk while I yet live. That I can swear to you. Love is not trauma. Enkidu nods. There can be no true love where there is an imbalance of power. I regard him. There is more to be said, but he said it all. I was led to believe that you were a man-beast. Is it possible that you might be wise? Great Enkidu's eyes drift about the garden like he is about to make a confession he would prefer to keep secret. I was a king once. Once, before I lived among the animals. He blinks, slowly, then regards me. I can't help but wonder if that is shame in his eyes. Where were you a king? What happened? Will you tell me your story? He takes a mighty breath, then sags. There is a city to the south, Eridu. I was the holy king of that land, trained in the mystic arts. I am and was a great medicine man, a shapeshifter. I remember the shock of his goat's head falling off. I fainted, I am not ashamed to say, nor to blame Peto's unguent. The Enkidu was no goat man then. He was a man in goat skins with a goat's headdress atop his head. My eyes drift to the great tree trunks of his legs. Not a single goat's hoof. What happened? I meet his eyes. He finds mine. May I hear the tale, king to king. He smiles at me, but not at the memories. I can see the pain in the gray of his eyes, like once they were as blue as a cloudless morning. Now they are ruined with pain and by the machinations of priests. My heart aches to embrace him. My most beloved priest betrayed me. He shrugs. It really is that simple. He besieged my god, Enki, traitor, trickster, politician, and together they usurped my crown. Another was found while I was away. I cannot say that I was all that displeased. I was free of city, free of my duty to the mad god and his scheming. You were able to run with the wild animals, I say, my voice barely above an awed, even jealously pained whisper. I clear my throat with a cough. They did not love you as you loved them. It is their loss. Enkidu's face is a mask of hurt. My hand finds his knee. His finds mine. Enki cursed me. He turned me into that bestial thing which you knew. Unable to remove my mask, to return to the state I occupied as a man, I could do only as I did. I returned to my mother, Lady Goddess Ki. Only in my dreams was I man, until you sent Lady Shamhat to me. I roamed that wilderness beneath the mother's bosom, with only my sense of justice remaining. I set those animals free because the man in me longed to remain free. I could not bear, even in my cursed state, to see them suffer, to know that they would, and that I could do something for them. His eyes rise from the middle distance into which he has been looking, seeing through the eyes of the man-beast, no doubt, and land on mine. I have you to thank for rescuing me, you and Lady Shamhat. This city is now my home. Please, allow me to serve you as your slave. His hands clasped before him in prayer. No, you are no man's slave, least of all mine, I say, taking his hands in mine and squeezing them tight to my breast. I have you to thank for rescuing me, great friend Enkidu. Brother in my heart. If not for your bravery, I might have continued as a rape king the rest of my life. I was granted a dream that a true friend, a great ally, would be gifted to me. You are he, great Enkidu the wise, greatest of men in my country. The days of your wandering and your curse are at an end. Remain forever at my side. This embrace lingers as silently he agrees, and silently my heart swells to bursting. What are you idiots doing, sitting on a bench holding hands like a couple gays? Peto appears, asking with a frown. My heart climbs into my throat and my hands dive between my knees. My face is as hot as a bread oven. You owe me a temple, Gilgamesh, she says. You aren't going to find it kissing boys in a garden. I make a talking gesture with my hand at Enkidu and roll my eyes around in my head, mocking her. He laughs. I am not joking. Inanna's wrath will be... Let her tell me of her wrath for herself, I say, shooting my eyes to her. Until then, I am king. There is no temple. There is no goddess. You have no authority to call me names and tell me what to do with my time. Then what are you king of? She spits, tossing her hair. She storms off. When I am sure that she will not return to eavesdrop on our talk, I say, I am not sure that I can trust her. I am sure, great King Gilgamesh, Enkidu says, looking up into the boughs of the great ash tree at the center of the garden, where it towers many hundreds of feet in the air, that you should tread more carefully around her and her goddess. Hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. I scoff and watch his eyes. Many moments pass in silence. I am willing to speak that he might notice that I am watching him seeing Ea knows what. I would ask you a question, he finally says, turning to me. Why do you deny her marriage, the priestess Shimhat? Why do you scorn her? I see that she has taken you to her pillow, I say. Without any understanding why, my eyes find the grass at my feet. They kick there from the bench. You must know that nothing good can come of scorning a woman who loves you. She does not love me. You do not know love, friend Gilgamesh. I look to him, to his clear gray eyes, nor do you allow her to love you, whatever she feels. You do not understand. I think I do, Lord Gilgamesh. He looks into my eyes with his goatish face. I was a king once. I was wed to a high priestess. Lady Shamhat is betrothed to you, and you alone. It is her sacred duty to ensure that you are provided for, that you have what is best for you, that she be the best wife on earth that a woman can be, that she show her people what it is to live a good life. I don't know that this is true, I argue. What I do know is true is that she has no interest in my personal purification. She has need of what I symbolize, not of me. That may well be. But is not your personal purification what purifies and best benefits her city, Lord Gilgamesh? Are you not the Godhead embodied? Is not the kingdom you, in the same way the Godhead is you? My eyes climb the sacred ash tree of Inanna, which towers many hundred feet over the garden. From here, it looks like the whole world. You ask me questions I do not have the answers to, I say. When I ask these things of my priest, of the gods, I am told that these things are how they are for a reason, and that I neither need to know that reason nor should I seek to. But humans, Enkidu, we are the only creatures of the gods' creation which can ask questions and seek out their answers. What are we if we are men, if we do not try to know what we do not? The gods made us to solve their mysteries, yet they tell us we cannot, we should not, we dare not, we must not. I take a deep breath, calming myself. As I live, I am not the representative of anything, Brother Enkidu. I am me, a man, nothing more. I have found no answers which will outlive me when I have died. I am your brother. Are you brother to your people, O king? Do your people not look to you for guidance? If they do, what, I wonder, do they see? A man with no story of his own to tell, I think. Why, how... I'm staring up at the topmost boughs of Inanna's sacred ash tree. These are questions only we are capable of answering. But capability, Enkidu, is like capacity, something more like an upward maximum than an actual quantity. You can do many things. Do you do them? And all at the same level of skill? Enkidu does not give an answer. He does not show that he has heard me. A white squirrel appears among the upper branches. Enkidu indicates him, and together we watch as 3 times he tries to stow a nut in a spot among the boughs. 3 times the nut falls to the earth. 3 times he follows it to the foot of the tree, but rather than return for a 4th attempt, he buries the nut among the tree's roots. Now watch him, our little squirrel friend, I say. His attempts have come to naught, but he does not see that it is the very thing he wants which is the reason for his failure. When he assesses why his plan fails, his answer is that the nut, the object of his desire, is what is wrong. So he puts it out of mind, and look, he has returned with another. How will he fare? The same, I fear. We watch as he goes through the same cycle with a different nut. Enkidu looks on me with eyes which shine with admiration. You are indeed a wise king. That is where you err, I say. Surely you must speak with the gods to see as you do. I am educated in the mysteries of nature, and until you spoke I saw only an animal I do not know and a tree with which I am unfamiliar. You see the cycles, the working of the gods' plan. Oh yeah? I ask, not challenging. More to myself, really. Then why does it all seem so meaningless to me? Because you're a fool king, I think. That's why. False and untested, you are. A puppet boy still dancing from a woman's strings. This is not the first I have observed him, I say to Enkidu, my voice, not voicing my private accusations, nor seeing them in his face. I planted this tree. I received it as a gift shortly after I took Uruk from a faraway people to the north, as a symbol of my devotion to the city. A king is a gardener, a tender to his people. A shriek owl hoots in the high branches. They say the goddess herself resides within the tree. Maybe this is true, maybe it is not. The squirrel was also a gift. His name is Ratatoskar. They say in that ancient land that he is the subtlest of the gods. For, you see, it is not the way of the gods to wonder why either. Enkidu has eyes only for me now. You believe this strange thing to be true. The gods are not thinking beings like men. Only we are thinking. The gods are the gods. They are they. They are as they are because they are as they are. They say in that land where the They say in that land where this tree was first raised from the earth is a sapling, that trees such as this one grow so tall and so close together that were you to enter one of these places, that shouldn't be separate paragraphs. Enkidu was supposed to speak in the middle there and he didn't. They are known as forests, such places, Enkidu offers. Now it is my turn to wonder at his wisdom. Mile after unbroken mile, mile after broken mile, unbroken mile of trees as tall as the heavens. I marvel. The sun itself can be seen no more. This is what they say. Many are the men, women, and children who enter these places are seen no more. Many more are the strange beasts, spirits, and demons which reside therein. Beings of such antiquity to make your knees shake. I am familiar with forests, Enkidu says, his voice distant. I regard him, surprised. He does not look at me. Whatever his eyes are on, his inner vision is turned toward the past, but he does not. But he does continue. My mother is Ki, and my father is Enki. I was found at the edge of the great cedar forest of Lebanon, in swaddling clothes by my father, a great warrior. There I was raised as a medicine man, a healer, and a shapeshifter, a representative of the gods on earth before I left for Eridu. I am elated to hear this. Then I am not the only man alive who is two-thirds born of the gods, I exclaimed. Brother, my mother is also Ki, the faraway mountains. His eyes find mine, warily. These forests are not an accident, I say, placing a hand on his knee and pointing to the squirrel. My friend there, Ratatoskr. He is but one squirrel in one tree in one garden, all the world away from his family and his kind. How much could he really change the world? It is only his nature causing him to bury these nuts. He cannot ask why the nut falls. He cannot answer why he must hide so much more food than he could possibly eat. The squirrel is burying his third nut. He has eaten none as we have watched, not even a nibble, like a gardener himself. He is subtle, I say. It is no wonder they sanctify this beast. In the land where he was born, it is bitter cold for much of the year. For many months, the world is frozen under ice and snow like the cap of a mountain. Squirrels like this one will gorge themselves on whatever they can find during the sunny months, hiding and burying the rest for after the thaw. Wise and industrious. When the world is frozen, they sleep, warm and safe, not unlike a locust or a baby in its mother's womb. Clever. He does not ask why it is this way. He only knows that this is the way he and everyone like him have always lived. Maybe it is as they say, and these trees are the spirit dwellings, perhaps even the bodies of their gods. I do not know. I do know that this tree is special. This tree they named to me in their tongue Yggdrasil, and that is how I call it. A sapling of their greatest god, they told me. The world tree. The tree is not the whole world, and I am not all people. But the silly creature will discover upon emerging from his slumber it doesn't remember where it hid its nuts. As a result, as much as 2/3 of his work, his time, the food he was counting on when he awoke, goes to waste. You might think, if you didn't know, that many of those green shoots climbing up among Yggdrasil's roots are his children. Those squirrels never starve, and there will never be too little food. Is the squirrel working for the tree? I ask. Is it his god? Is this tree in this garden? Are they my god and my city? I do not know. I do know that the gods will take what is owed them, one way or another. There is only one tree you have ever known, King Gilgamesh. Enkidu asks me, astonished. And so far as I can know a tree, I answer, you know this tree better than I know my own brothers. And suddenly, Enkidu laughs. I regard him, curious. What makes you laugh, brother? Dearest Gilgamesh, he says, putting his hand on my shoulder. You may very well find a new temple sitting here in this garden with me. I frown. Explain. The cedars of my homeland. The idea fills my head fully formed. Your father Enki betrayed you. Let us get our vengeance on his forest. Let us make the gods tremble and destroy the mighty Huawa, protector of the sacred cedar forests. Beloved Gilgamesh, Enlil, your father, molded mighty Huawa from the clay with his own hands. But Huawa is no man. He is a monster, and he is dressed in the 7 protective garments which Enlil gave him when he made him protector of the forest. Are you sure this is the thing you wish to do? I will be your champion. Let me go to the land of my birth. I will argue with my father Enki on your behalf. Allow me to return to you with the wood to build your temple, as my penance. This cannot be, Enkidu, I exclaimed, leaping to my feet. What will my people learn of me if I send my brothers to do great deeds and myself stay in my city? No, sir! We will ride forth together, and together we will return heroes. End chapter 7. It's 9 o'clock. That's all you get tonight. That's 2 hours. Some of you have to go to bed now. Some of you have also heard the original Epic of Gilgamesh because I read it to you. And so some of you know where I've taken liberties, or rather where Rob has taken liberties, and some of you know that that's very few places. In fact, I've taken very few liberties with that story. I moved some of the dialogue into other people's mouths, and I had people repeat dialogue that other people didn't say. So it's not even that I moved it, it's I added repetition where there wasn't before. There's a lot of repetition in the poem, as you know. That's how it was done. The 2/3 thing is, that's what it says in the poem. That part where it said the 2/3 is actually just a quote from the poem. He's 2/3 a god. I actually explained this when I was reading Gilgamesh. Rach, the 2/3 god thing means that he was exposed as a child. His mother was a sacred whore and his father was an anonymous John. His mother exposed him for death, and he was adopted by Queen Puabi. The 2/3 divine means that they don't know who his parents are. But he's, 2/3 divine. They know he had a human father, and they know that his mother was half divine, so his other father must have been divine too. So that's 4 parents. Or something. It's actually 5. It doesn't really break down into 2/3. The math is not solid, but 2/3. 2 of his 3 parents are divine. His mother and his father are human, but his mother is half divine, so his other parent, he has 2 fathers and 1 mother, but she's half divine. It's sort of how that works. It's still half. If you do that math, it's still half, right? But they're counting his mother as not human. They're counting Gilgamesh is, just like Jesus, an immaculate birth. And luckily, you know how it ends. Thank you, Rach. This is why I don't like putting my shoes back on. I don't like putting my cold, wet feet into cold shoes. I don't mind putting cold, dry feet in the morning and letting them warm up, but now I gotta warm them up again. It's just a miserable, miserable feeling. Fucking hate it. I love you guys enough to put my shoes off, to take my shoes off and then put them back on. So, if that doesn't say something, nothing will, I guess. rewatch movies. This is designed to be rewatched. This is designed to be the only thing you ever read ever again. It's designed to one of the things I used to talk about was elevating the social sea level. It's designed to end the competition of who's the best writer in the English language of all time. It's this guy. I'm the best there ever was or ever will be in the English language. Eat your heart out, Bill. Shake that spear all you like, pal. All you like. I'm better. I'm better. There hasn't been competition for the best writer in the English language since the fucking 18th century, maybe even the 17th century. When did Shakespeare live? Might have been the 1600s for that matter. It's been 500 years, guys. It's time to take writing seriously again. Okay. Oh, I emptied my backpack like an idiot would have done. It's all good. I'm cold. I totally emptied my backpack too. It's all good. Thank you, Rachie. Thank you, the other three of you. You're being quiet. Yeah, 500 fucking years, guys. It's been 500 fucking years since anybody took writing in the English language seriously. 500 years. The closest thing in anything approaching, the closest thing in anything approaching modernity to anyone trying to be great as an English writer was fucking Charles Dickens, guys. Dickens. That shit was almost 200 years ago. The fuck are we doing? Why the fuck are we letting Taylor Swift dominate every market? The fuck are we doing? There's trash everywhere we look. Disposable, throwaway stories. And I say, no mas. Unacceptable. No mas. Say akabul, akabul. I don't know that word. Asabul, akabul. I don't know that word. It's unacceptable. To me, unacceptable. And so I say this all the time, but I became this person by looking out into the world and saying, unacceptable. Unacceptable. Mm-mm. An F minus minus as a passing grade is unacceptable. Participation being the final grade, unacceptable. Unacceptable. If nobody's gonna hold me accountable to a higher standard, then I will hold myself accountable to the highest possible standard. maybe I should walk through the path instead of just like into the woods. La la la. We can do better. Hey, Pushta. I can do better. If I can do better, we can do better. And so if I'm going to sit around and bitch about how we can do better, then I'm going to do better. And it doesn't have to result in money. It doesn't have to result in success. It doesn't have to result in what other people define success. Success is what we make it. And so for me, just having written that novella, it's a fourth draft, but the drafts, the way I do drafts, is it's just getting the pieces in the right order. Because I write these from dreams. I found, I was showing Rach, because she's basically my only Patreon supporter who actually gives a shit about my literature. I love you, Mr. S. But she's basically my only Patreon supporter who gives a shit about the literature I produce. And I was showing her how in previous drafts of this Gilgamesh section, I actually wrote notes to myself in it to tell myself how to stitch it together, where the pieces are. And in several of the scenes, but the one that I showed her, I actually wrote, I don't know what this is, but this is how it played out in the dream, so that's how I wrote it. I don't understand why it is the way it is, but that's what I saw in my dream. And so just stay true to the dream. If you stay true to the dream, you stay true to the narrative, you stay true to the thing that we're telling. Because the thing we're telling is a dream. I think that should be obvious to anybody who listened to the first chapter of that novella. But Rob goes to sleep thinking about this poem, and then he comes to be aware of himself in it. And so when you have a dream inside a poem, when you have a dream that takes place inside an existing fantasy world, you're allowed to take liberties. That's why you're there. Yeah. Well, letting you play witness or play participant to the process was why I published it in the way I did. It's why other writers that have come through my and seen my process, seen me sharing the creation, seen me working the magic, think that that's just what it is. It's, oh, well, if you just watch me work, people will know I'm working. And it's like, well, you also have to work magic. Lights have to appear where they shouldn't appear, and rain needs to start where it's not supposed to, and the weather is supposed to be to do impossible things, and you are supposed to demonstrate some kind of mastery. So this thing I'm doing, the shaman wizard thing, it used to have very, very, very strong rules. We used to know. And I understand, Rach. I think I said at the beginning of this that there's a cadence that Rob speaks to, and I guess that cadence also is where the comprehension of the prose is. There's a cadence to how he tells a story. So if you're just reading the words like you would another writer, you're gonna miss the meaning. It's like poetry. It's like a good song, right? Like if you don't have the drum track for Metallica, you're missing something. That you're just missing a whole piece of the storytelling puzzle because you don't have the drums. You don't have the cadence of the song. You don't know where the 4 is. You don't know where the 3 is, right? You don't know where the up and the down beats are. And Rob is absolutely music. Abius, Castle of Wisdom, and I got into he got pretty fucking upset with me about 3 years ago now, actually, when I told him that Rob is poetry, man. It's an epic poem Sure, a lot of it looks like prose, but the amount of repetition, the amount of alliteration, the amount of rhyming, and then the cadence, the rhythm of the prose it's absolutely poetry. Yeah, where she gets jealous. She gets jealous of Gilgamesh's affection. What have I found? You guys cuddling on a bench like a couple of gays? Yeah, I like Peto too. You haven't experienced it. Yeah, you haven't experienced enough of it yet to know Rich, but she's the main character. Rob is the narrator, but she's the main character. She's the protagonist. Every time she's on camera, it's the only thing the camera can see. Literally, anytime she's around Rob, he has to look at other things to not just be looking at her. But yeah, she's a badass, for sure. And see, here's the other thing is like, I'm educated, but I'm informed, and I know a lot. And so like, I read these books, and I'm still in the middle. I'm actually very near the end now of Scribers, Potter's Scribes and Weaver's Scribes and Kings, which is it's about Mesopotamia. It's about this people group, and I've recently studied 3,000 years of their history, the 1,000 years leading up to the Epic of Gilgamesh, and the 1,600 years, 2,000 years after the Epic of Gilgamesh. And this is good. This is good history. What he's doing there. Men want to be with her. Women want to be her. Yeah, absolutely. That's literally her job. What's up, Mastro? Her job is to be an exemplar of feminine grace and power. Her job is to be an archetype of the sacred feminine. That's her job. That's how she earns her money and her food and her civilization. But everything from the way they spent their time on the temple, to the obsession with the walls, Gilgamesh, the Sumerian king, being concerned with the happiness of his people. These are real historical things. Like what made the Sumerians different was that they were concerned that their people were happy. The kings were Helen of Troy may or may not have been a real person. But Helen of Troy was most certainly an archetype. Yeah, I don't make them like that anymore. No. But that's what this first book, that's what The Last Vast Serpent is about, is why we don't make women like that anymore. That's what the narrative, it's a million words explaining why. Exactly why we don't make women like that anymore. Yeah. She's the only woman who's superior to him. She's the only woman who matches him step for step. She's the only woman who challenges him. Oh, yeah. Yeah, they don't make them like that anymore, for sure. Rulers, nobility, that care, not anymore, for sure. But, what's his name? Xenophon, Greek philosopher from the Periclean era, immediately before Rome conquered Greece. He thought that democracy did that. That democracy made the leaders, the nobility, care less about providing for the people and more about being seen in public, not even doing anything good, just being seen. That democracy makes your leaders more concerned with being seen rather than doing good things. In the ancient world, they weren't seen by the regular people, and so that's why they had to be worried about the regular people liking what they did, right? Because they'd leave. The regular people would just leave. That is what ended up happening to Mesopotamia. They had too many years in a row of drought, and the people just left because the kings couldn't keep them fed and happy. I have like sores in my eyebrows. Does anybody else see this? Yeah, the scar on my eyebrow right there. Not mosquito bites. It's from sitting behind my glasses. Maybe Lucas knows something about it. Maybe Lucas did it. Jumping on my fucking head. No, I just haven't cleaned my face or my scalp enough for last week. Yeah, we'll do this tomorrow. It could be my routine if it started to make me money. Still probably take me a year to finish what I've already written. I'm very tired. That means I need caffeine. Alright, dudettes. I was just saying, I hope I made some money so I can get something to eat here now that I've come up here to eat. You're more awesome, Rich. Thank you. Thank you guys for your support. Thank you for being here. I'm gonna end this. I might stay on this, but I'm gonna make another live. So this is digestible. And then I'm gonna eat, and then we got the coming race. I might be able to finish it tonight, unless it's just bad, unless it's just annoying. So that really just depends on who. I'm gonna upload Phil while I'm here. Unless I forgot to bring my laptop, in which case I'm not. But yeah, Phil will be ready for tomorrow. I'm gonna do the same thing. I'll make it a member for in the morning, and then I'll set it to go to not members later in the day. Thank you guys. That hurts. Bye. Take care. Sleep well, Rich. And the rest of you, thank you for being here. Don't forget to tip your waitress, I guess. I'll see you soon.